But notable results in last week's slate of matches. So it was rounds 5 and 6 out of 7 in the round robin. And there were actually some crazy results, which I'm going to start off with. Let me make sure I've got the correct one. All right. So I'm still doing all the production myself. So this may be a little scuffed. We'll see. Give me a second. And boom. Clemson versus Auburn. This was a big one because Auburn was kind of hot off the back of a victory over King. That's kind of like their marquee win of the season so far for Auburn. Like they have lost to pretty much everybody else except for King, who they 3-0'd, which absolutely crazy result. Fair enough. They beat King. And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe this Auburn team's going to make a run going into the last ditch effort, trying to get into the last chance qualifier. And they still could, but they got 3-0'd by Clemson, who we're going to talk about in a second, because now Auburn, Clemson, and Oklahoma are in a 3-way tie right now for 5th place in Group 1, which is the group of death. We all knew this was going to be the group of death. And so I was unprepared for this, so give me a second. All right, let me pull it up. They're the standings right there that's Group 4. All right. There are the standings. You never get to see this in actual SEL, or State of the SEL, but this is legitimately what my recording session looks like. All right. So this is the standings right now. And you can see at the top, we got a pretty definitive top 2 with King and Kentucky. Little sneak peek about the future of our discussion on the State of the SEL Live. Kentucky and King have both clinched top 2 already. There is no way for Florida to catch them. Even if King loses and it results in a tiebreaker, head-to-head is the first tiebreaker in groups in this season of the SEL. Well, this semester, rather. That changed from the fall. And King 3-1 Florida. So, King and Kentucky have clinched top 2. Wade, it was a fluke. Okay, fair enough. I mean, with Auburn getting swept by Clemson, I'll accept that. Maybe I'll accept that. But, the SEL account is in chat as well. What's up? I think that's Fred. I'm not entirely sure, though. But here are the standings. And right here is pure chaos. All right? What is going on right here? So that Clemson sweeping of Auburn is super important. So we're going to talk about that tiebreaker in a bit once we get to the Week 4 scenarios portion of the show. Because next we got to talk about Kentucky. A Game 5 win over Florida. And Florida's a team that I predicted was going to land. And they faltered just a little bit in groups. The 3-1 loss to King, fair enough. Took them to 5 in the fall with Storm in the lineup, so I thought they were going to do a lot better. But that Game 5 loss to Kentucky, who have been on. And I'm sad that Chipmunk Man had to go back to his stream. I don't know if he's listening right now or casting. But Kentucky's looked so good with HUD's, Chipmunk Man, and Unfriable Apples. Like, they're 6-0 right now. They're one of our few undefeateds left, who, again, we'll talk about in a bit. So, moving on with more notable results. Florida, they squeak out a win against Oklahoma, who have been struggling this season with a completely new lineup. I'm worried about the Gators right now. Hold on, I'm gonna switch back to. I'm worried about the Gators right now. They have looked a little shaky. They had a rough last week. They have lost 2 of their last 3 matches, and the third one was a Game 5 win over a team they should be sweeping. So, I'm concerned about Florida. They are going to start in the top side of the last chance qualifier, so they should be okay. They should be okay. But we'll see what happens in the LCQ, because we all know what happens in the LCQ. If you've been in the SEL, you know what the last chance qualifier is like. So you never know what happens once you actually get to that stage of the bracket. So, okay, moving on. Staying in Group 1, though, because we got another Game 5 victory. I refreshed the page because F5 is my transition key as well as my refresh key. But there you go. Garnet versus Kentucky. I actually got to catch this Game 5, and Garnet played Kentucky so close. I really thought they were going to win that Game 5. They honestly should have won that Game 5. It was neck and neck. Apples, you were down in both those series, 1-2 and won 2 overtimes in a row. Wow, that's clutch. That's extremely clutch. It's good to see. See, that's why you got that veteran leadership of Unfriable Apple. With his final semester competing for Kentucky, he's got that ice. That's an SEL winner right there, and he's given it over to Huds and Chipmunk Man as well. I love it. But Garnet playing that close, I think, is still a good result for them. So Garnet is okay right now. I think they're all right. But different Gamecocks roster on the up and up right now. They lose to Bama, I think 2 weeks ago. Then at BBB, they fall out in groups, did not look themselves. Then here, they play Florida State, and they 3-1 them. Now, this is one of those SEL rivalries that I talked about in the last State of the SEL, where South Carolina had all of the wins against Florida State until last semester when FSU beat them in groups. And so I was thinking, okay, maybe it's like a switching of the rivalries. And we're going to talk about the rivalries. I keep getting the side wrong. Right there. Right at that level. And so they get revenge against Florida State. I thought there was going to be a flipping. I thought FSU was going to take that rivalry back. But no, South Carolina 3-1'd them. Great result for the Gamecocks. I was a little worried about them. I was a little worried, but they figured it out. And with that in mind, I want to go real quickly to show the Group 2 standings. Because now that means we got a three-way tie up at the top of Group 2. Got a three-way tie at the bottom for Group 1, and Group 2 extremely top-heavy. And I'm going to go through tiebreaker scenarios in a couple segments. So if you're wondering what's going on, then we'll talk through what has to happen for certain teams to get certain results when it comes to tiebreakers there. So moving on with the week 3 results, staying in Group 2, Louisiana Tech a 3-1 over Bama, and I hate just pounding the narrative home that Alabama is a team of complete inconsistency, but you can't see them beat South Carolina 2 weeks ago, then go 1-3 at BBB in the group stage, losing the tiebreaker, and then come back and get 3-1 by Louisiana Tech. Because now La Tech, at 3-3 with Bama, has that head-to-head tiebreaker over the Crimson Tide. And so that's just a tough loss for Alabama. And they were all one-goal games, all the games that Alabama lost. But Louisiana Tech took the series victory. And a lot of these tiebreakers, like, it's not similar to last semester's tiebreaker list where it's going to go to game win percentage first. It's head-to-head now. And so this one series is more than likely going to shape the middle of Group 2 because Bama and La Tech are fighting for that 4th place spot after the three-way tiebreaker. So not a great loss for Bama, but a big win for Louisiana Tech. Joe, I just saw your power rankings. I did get Full Sail 1, Kentucky 2, and UTK White 3. Fair enough. He knows ball. He knows ball. The colleague rankings, yes. I don't know if I'm gonna give my opinions on the rankings that came out today, live on stream. But if you want to know my opinions, I'm happy to share that in DMs. Yeah, Skyline, you guys play South Carolina tomorrow. That is going to be a hype series. So hype. Clemson, you're rooting for Garnet to lose to Oklahoma? Yeah. We'll talk about tiebreakers in a bit. So I'll leave that comment for now. But next matchup, we're moving to Group... Oh, we're staying in Group 2 here. Actually, Cumberland 3-0'd Bama, which when you start off with the La Tech loss is not too surprising. With Bama having a down week, I suppose. But they crushed them. Each game win by 2 goals. Cumberland sticking themselves at the top of Group 2. They are cemented right now as the top team in the SEL right now. So we're gonna keep it going. Keep it going. This, you don't see the results here, but I have to talk about it. I don't know why the results haven't been put in just yet. Snipes, if you're watching, We need the results. Montevallo won this series in Game 5 overtime. The clip that NK2 hit to win it, honestly, was extremely hype. Like, I know Montevallo had to reverse sweep to win this, and they really should not have been there against Wake Forest. But the clip that NK2 hit, if anyone's got that, I clipped that, I think, on the Montevallo channel. So if any Montevallo players are in chat right now, I thought I saw Lego earlier. I would love to spread that clip, watch it on stream. But what's up, Gray? I'm expecting the regain in the last chance qualifier. Joe, you think they need to do top 16 or top 20 instead of 48? That's fair. I mean, I think top 48 is what they should do if they have people that actually follow the that 33 through 48 range. But I don't think they've got a ton of people that actually do that. Oh, and Vroko's in chat. Vroko, I hope you didn't hear the Auburn slander at the start. I apologize for that. B-More, you missed the results in week 3. Just notable stuff. So if you're keeping track yourself, then you should be fine. But we are nearing the end of the notable week 3 results, because this is group 3. This was like pretty much the only notable result in group 3, as UAB 3-2 ECU, which close series. I always got to talk about the ones that go to game 5. But UAB squeaking out a win here gets them at 3-3 and sticks ECU way lower in the standings than I was expecting them to be. Because here you go, ECU tied with Full Sail at 1-5. LSU's 0-6 down here. They actually forfeited their ECU match 2 weeks ago, which I'm so upset about because I wanted to see what would happen if they played. Or they forfeited their Full Sail matchup. Sorry, I think I reversed that. Regardless, Florida State, no, Full Sail and ECU are playing this week, which we'll talk about more in depth in a second. I keep previewing stuff and then catching myself, but it's win or go home for them. Winner gets 6th, losers eliminated. LSU's already been knocked out. Sorry Tigers. But UAB with that win, getting them in contention for that 4th place spot, that upper side on the LCQ side, LCQ bracket spot. So UAH better watch out. Be more. I'm looking at you. You better clutch up. You got the Blazers on your tail right now. And right, Joe, ECU is not that bad. I don't know what's happened with them this season. They've been struggling. I think the loss of, I think it was Chillin that graduated. Chillin that graduated. I think the loss of him really hurt. But Onexus is a solid player. Maybe they're just getting used to the new lineup. But we're coming back to me, because that is all the notable results. Group 4 really had nothing notable. It was all the favorites, in my opinion, winning. BPC and Georgia are actually playing right now, which I want to check in on, because Chipmunk, man, I got a 30-second ad. All right. Well, I'm gonna talk for a second while that ad plays, but I want to periodically be checking in on Bruton Parker versus Georgia, because that's an extremely important series when it comes to the top of Group 4, because a lot can happen depending on if Georgia's able to get an upset of a Bruton Parker, or if Bruton Parker just closes it out. Like that, it's one that got pushed back from, I think, round 6 of round robin, but they're playing it right now. And we're going to move on over now because the ad has ended. Whoa, I didn't put it up there before transitioning. There we go. Oh, that is... My computer is not happy with me hopping into the stream, so my bad on that. It's a little off-center. I apologize for that. But it looks like BBC won game 1. DJ TJ and... Alamo's playing this one with Harry. Okay. So that's the new iteration of the Georgia roster. They've been changing up literally every week pretty much. But that's what we're looking at right now. Twitch.tv/the Chipmunk Man. Let me confirm that. Yeah, the Chipmunk Man RL is where you'll want to go if you want to watch that series and have me up in the background. I don't care either way. I'm here to promote the SEL. Doesn't matter how it's getting promoted. But Chip streaming that one. So that's a good one. Let's see what's happening. What's happening? Coolio wanted the smoke in your pool. All right. I think with that comment about Joe Bro and Coolio, that's got to get us closer to our week 4 situation. So let's do the first bit of changing of my overlay. And right there, that week 4 scenarios, I made the majority of the overlays before I decided to name that week 4 scenario. So it's going to change names real quick. You'll have to just remember we're talking about scenarios and tiebreakers in that segment, and not just the big week 4 series that it now says